All right. Here we go. So, gonna be doing something a little different today. We've done it before, but you know, it's been a minute, and it's time for me to prep my Fallout 2D20 game. So, for those of you who don't know what Fallout 2D20 is, Fallout 2D20 is a tabletop role-playing game. It's based off of the 2D20 system that Modifius made. Um, and yeah, they based a tabletop role-playing game on Fallout. And so yeah, I've been running this campaign for uh it's like 2 months now, 2ish months. So you know, I just thought, you know, it's a little bit of a chiller day, but you know, I got a stream, so decided, you know, I'm gonna bring you guys along and do some prep. Thankfully, I don't really need maps for this session, for this upcoming session. It's mainly going to be a lot of narrative. Um, so I thought, you know, might as well help, you know, maybe get some input from you guys if you guys are in the chat. And yeah, see how this goes. It's mainly going to be a lot of me just prepping narrative. I've got the module pulled up on my iPad here, so that way I can kind of reference it when I need to. But yeah, it should be a little bit simple. If you guys have any questions, feel free to just kind of message in the chat, or you are welcome to comment below, and we can. I'll try my best to answer when I can. Uh, but yeah, so hopefully this is at least somewhat entertaining. It's gonna be a little bit slower than what we're usually doing because it's just me today. But hopefully you guys find it enjoyable, watchable, viewable, entertaining. All right. So let's see. See, I gotta pull up the story. I'm using Foundry. This is on the Forge VTT. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But yeah, so this is kind of what I've been working on. This is the recap for our session 5, which was 2 sessions prior to the one that we did last Saturday. So I need to do the recap for session 6. Which was definitely a bit of an eventful one. So I'll kind of narrate this as I'm typing it, so that way it's not purely quiet. So during last session, the party gathered their belongings from the bunker and began their journey back from the bunker. Let's see. I kind of do this all off of the top of my head because I mean, I don't want to type it as soon as I'm done with the session whenever we have it, because I feel like then I'd be typing way too much. So I usually let it simmer for a few days, and then only the things that are like super important or like that were super impactful kind of come back to me. And that way I'm not writing a whole fucking novel for each session. So yeah, that's kind of why I do this after. And I don't know, it works for me, so why not? Let's see. So yeah, they gathered their belongings from the bunker for their journey back. Let's see. I don't think anything really memorable happened too much. The group decided to take X. X is one of my players. Up on there. His offer to carry the now amputated Silt on his back for the trip, while Abraham is a player, so Abraham's newly converted follower, we'll call him, joined him in morning prayer to Adam. Okay, so during the last session, the party gathered the belongings of the bunker. I'm trying to think of anything else that happened in the morning that was kind of notable. I don't really think too much happened. It was mainly that Abraham had his convert join him for prayer. Everyone gather their belongings. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. Other than that, they decided to let X lead the group. After everyone finished packing up, X led the party through the wastes. Sorry, I'm making sure that I have control of the music here. There we go. Just in case if I need to pull it up. Have it right here. Alright. Let's see. Let the party through the wastes. Trying to think of anything notable. Where I, the GM, utilized one of my AP to veer the players in a certain direction. Let's see. Nothing substantial. Occurred during the. Is that how you spell occurred? 2 R's? Oh, that's a T. That's definitely not right. Yeah, it was 2 R's. All right. During the leg of the journey until the group came upon a settlement of sorts. The group immediately became cautious as Apollo, another player character, split from the group for a vantage point over the camp. Let's see. The rest of the party then successfully snuck up to the camp borders, and what else did they do? I don't think anything really happened. Began inspecting their surroundings. Okay. Upon closer inspection, the group noted that the camp seemed eerily suspiciously. Oh my god, did I spell that wrong too? Oh my god. I'll just say oddly. Fuck, why did I capitalize that? Oddly quiet. Apollo then passed a perception check and discovered that the camp had a group of ghouls within the walls. I'll do it in parentheses. For feral, born, glowing. Alright. So yeah, they snuck up to the walls. They began inspecting. They noticed it was quiet. Then Apollo passed his perception check. He noticed there was the group of ghouls. Let's see. And flagged down Nova, another player character, to inform her of what he discovered. Okay, let's see. Upon receiving oh my god, my spelling. The information. Nova then rushed back to the group where she then shared the intel with the rest of the group. Let's see what else then happened. Pretty sure after that, then they began going into the camp, or making their way up to the entrance. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all that really happened. Let's see. The group was then set on high alert, as they did not want to attract the ghouls' attention. Let's see. Jack led the group. Jack is a player character. Towards the entrance of the camp, where they found the gates broken wide open and barely left on their hinges. Okay, let's see. Once at the entrance, entrance of the camp, Jack then decided to enter as quietly as he could. Unfortunately, with no successful rolls, let's see, how should I word this? I mean, he pretty much just walked in. I'm trying to think of like a good way of wording it. Let's see. Yeah, with no successful rolls, he loudly crunched through the snow towards the... What would I call that place? Yeah, let me minimize this. Hut, maybe? Hut. House. I'll call it a hut. Towards the hut. And peered through the doorway. Once at the... I was going to put precipice, but I don't know if I could spell that properly on first try, and I don't want to do that on stream. So, once at the doorway, he again... Oh, no, I don't want to... he was kind of upset about his unsuccessful rolls, because he did like a unsuccessful roll one after the other. So I don't want to like reoccurringly kind of bring that up. So I think I might just like word it as, once at the doorway, the creature inside began making noise, where Jack had then discovered that inside was a super mutant brute. Brute immediately became aware of Jack's presence and charged on sight. Yeah, because pretty much what happened was as soon as he was trying to sneak up to the hut, he was just making unsuccessful roll one after the other. So then as he was getting to the doorway, I kept giving him chance to like try to sneak and try to get a pass, because I didn't want that to, you know, be the mood that was set. You know, it sucks whenever you roll shitty rolls. And I'm sure those of you who play TTRPGs like D&D or any of these 2D20 systems or any TTRPG, like, you know, whenever you're built for a certain thing and you're unsuccessful at doing that thing, because he's pretty good at sneak, it sucks. It like saps all the fun out of it. But thankfully he was a really, really good sport about it. He was getting a little upset about it, but I mean, he was still trying to have fun, so he took it very, very well. But yeah, I was trying to give him as many opportunities as I could to at least get a success and have things go a little in his favor, because this is still a fairly new campaign. They're pretty low level. They're only level 2. So I don't want to, you know, pressure them just yet. So yeah, as soon as he got to the doorway, I gave him another opportunity to try to sneak away, and potentially like get out of the brute's sight, but unfortunately he failed that again. So then the brute then charged through the building, because it was already pretty broken down because he had to break his way through the doorway. And so he then charged at him immediately and pretty much shattered that entire edge of the house, this edge right here. And so once he broke through, I let Jack have a agility check, so that way he could try to see if he can run away. And thankfully that's where he started to pass things, and you know, he was starting to have things go a little more in his favor. So I was like, all right, sweet, we're gonna keep this going. So I let him slip away. I then had the brute break out, and I had everyone who was outside of the camp see it, because they just see Jack kind of creeping up. Obviously he's not creeping very well, but he's trying. So they hear him crunching his way to the door, and then as he gets there, that's whenever the brute breaks out, and they just see this hulking super mutant clad in all this heavy armor, and they immediately like get on the defensive. Everyone starts prepping their attacks. They bring out their guns. They have everything ready for whenever Jack is out of the line of sight, like out of the line of fire, that they could just lay into this guy. And so Jack, then I give him an agility check, because I wanted to break it into segments, so like he can get further and further away. But obviously I didn't want to throw it into a full encounter just yet, so I just kind of like had it in story beats. So like the first beat was the brute breaking through, he slipped away from that. Then the second beat was the brute then hauling ass towards Jack, and thankfully he did another successful agility check, and this time I think he had crits. So then he was able to like book it to the entrance and group up with everyone, and they were like all right here. I didn't have time. I forgot to make a gate to this entrance, so this little black square represents the entrance, because I forgot. It happens sometimes, but yeah, I forgot to make an entrance, and so that was the representation of the entrance. And so once he got to the group, he immediately told everyone like, fucking everyone get your shit ready for what's coming. And so everyone then, as soon as he slipped past them, everyone just started firing, and I started the initiative. I let them have essentially like a surprise round kind of. So yeah, I let them lay into the guy, and yeah, he got tore up on that first surprise round, because everyone rolled really, really high damage, which was fucking awesome. It felt great for them, because the Superman Brute isn't super, super strong, but it definitely is. It's probably the toughest enemy they've fought so far, because lately, before this, all they fought was like raiders, a couple mole rats, like some lower tier kind of enemies, but this brute was like the toughest one. Like, it's usually they're able to wipe an enemy in fucking one shot, But this one, it was, you know, it was a little bit, or sorry, not one shot, one round. But this one, it was definitely lasting more than one round. So they were a little on edge. But thankfully everyone, they rolled insane damage, like the highest that they could essentially. And because it's a party of 6, it's 5 players, and then I had one NPC, Evie, here. Right here. This is Evie, my little NPC. And yeah, so it's all 5 of them and my NPC, and then they just laid into them. Oh, just for context, this is my player's X. It's his. This is Nova. I had everyone kind of create little characters for it. This is Abraham. This is Jack. And then over here in the tree is Apollo. So yeah, those are the player characters. They're all super flavorful. I absolutely love all of their backstories. And hopefully we might get one more player character soon. He might be joining potentially next session, not this upcoming one, but the one after. And I'm really excited to get that in, because I mean, 6 is probably like my limit of player characters, because this is my first actual game that I've GM'd for. So yeah, it's definitely it's an exciting experience to have everyone together. So yeah, I'm really excited, and thankfully it's going well so far. So, but back to the recap. Let's see. Oh, I essentially told you guys most of what happened. Let's see. Let's see. Jack was able to slip away from the brute's range and successfully made it back to the group, where he then warned them to prepare for a fight. The group gathered their weapons and readied. Is that? Would it be readied? I guess. To initiate combat. With the group's firepower, they were able to weaken the brute with their first round of damage and cripple him. Allowing them a bit more breathing room. So after this happened and they were able to cripple him, a second brute came up, and thankfully they were able to kind of clear this guy as well, before he was able to fully get over here. Which actually, I don't think I ever moved him. I think he was actually supposed to be like up here. I don't know why I didn't move him. Typically I'm pretty good at that, but yeah, so they were able to move him. Oh shit, I forgot to mention the bodies. Yeah, these were all raider bodies that they saw whenever they looked through the entrance. So I should probably jot that down. Let's see. Within the camp, they saw blood strewn everywhere, with bodies of raiders littering the site. The group was immediately set on high alert, as they knew this was not a simple ghoul infestation. Yeah, my players had a little bit of meta knowledge because a few of them are heavy Fallout lovers. So they kind of knew that like with if ghouls are there and there's a big thing that may have done some damage, it obviously isn't going to be a Deathclaw because ghouls and Deathclaws don't really get along. Like they usually fight on sight. But super mutants, some for the most part, they can kind of be amicable. So they kind of did use a little bit of meta knowledge, but it didn't ruin anything. It was in good taste. So I just kind of let it slide, and I was just kind of kept it up in there like I don't know what it could be. And that's whenever Jack did his investigating. He then saw the brute, and then that's whenever everything kind of moved forward, because they were all like, ah, shit, this isn't just ghouls, like this is something big. And they were all speculating Deathclaw, which I originally was going to use Deathclaws on them, but I decided to make it a little bit more interesting and give them some variety in enemies, so I gave them the ghouls and the super mutant, because I thought that would be a little bit more, a little more fun, having a little bit of variety, potentially splitting the combat up into two instead of just one singular instance. Like it was able to be the brutes first and then the ghouls come after, which that's how it went down, thankfully, and I feel like it worked really well. It really set them like in a pace, and they actually had to think and plan out and be a little strategic, which is more than they've ever really done before. So I feel like it worked really well, and I'm glad of how everything kind of worked out. All right, let's see. So after they took down the first brute, that's whenever the second one came out. After the first brute was crippled and shouting in anger and agony, a second brute then appeared from a nearby tent and began rushing the group as its brother had just been what is it, incapacitated, attacked. I'll just say that, simple, keep it simple. Let's see. So yeah, the group had the brute appeared. The brute then started rushing them. That's whenever the brute kind of gave out like almost like a barbarian cry, and like fucking just shouted across the camp and started rushing them. So yeah, this was a combat of two super mutant brutes, which was pretty cool. I thought it was an interesting little thing. They liked it, so it worked out. Let's see. So yeah, after the brutes, the brute came out, yelled, then rushed. The group split their. Oh no! They first tried to take down the first brute before the second one was able to get to them. So the group then attempted. Oh. Did I put two spaces? No, I didn't. Attempted to finish off the first brute before the second. No, I wouldn't say approached. I'll just say arrived. And thanks to a few high damage rolls, the group was able to collectively take down the first brute in time. All right, let's see. With the first, I keep trying to capitalize first brute down. The group then switched their attention to the now incoming I was gonna put a number, second brute, and attempted to take it down just as fast. Meanwhile, thanks to all the noise, the ghouls had also been drawn to the fight and were now awaiting their turn in the initiative to come after the party. All right. I'm trying to think what else happened. Yeah, pretty much this whole session was kind of taken up by this combat. Because unfortunately, two of my players had to remote in. It would be Nova and Apollo. They were the ones who had to report. They had to remote in. So they were playing at their house where everyone else was in person. So that's kind of why I slowed things down a little bit. As much as I want to push the main story, it didn't feel right not having them physically there to kind of play off of the other players. So I decided to just essentially fill the session with the combat, and it worked out pretty well. Everyone had a good time, thankfully. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and kind of keep working on this, and then eventually we'll get to next session's prep, which this shouldn't take too much longer. It usually kind of takes me a little while to get it wrapped up, because I try to like get all the fun parts, so that way they can kind of relive it whenever I give this recap this coming Saturday. So yeah, it should be pretty fun. All right, let's see. Now waiting to turn in initiative. All right. Due to another round of high damage, the group was able to land a few good hits on the second brute, and after a few rounds, take him down as well. With both brutes down, the group now only had to clear the remaining ghouls from combat. Let's see. Due to the numbers of the ghouls, I'll just say due to the number of ghouls, the group had a hard time splitting all of their attention amongst the, what should we call them? A gaggle of ghouls, maybe? Against the, you could say ops, the opposition. I'll just say amongst them. But we're able to land a few good blows, while the ghouls, in return, were able to land the first good hits of the campaign upon both X and Nova. Let's see. Yeah, because typically my players, they take a good stealthy kind of take on combat. They'll usually be the ones to do the first hits, and they'll usually do like really good damage, and so they're able to kind of work together and clear all the enemies together. But this was the first one where like they were actually able to get hit. They were actually taking damage, and they weren't, you know, the hot shots. They actually had to put up a bit of a fight, which was pretty cool. It was nice to see them kind of like have that moment of realization where they're like, oh shit, we're not all that. We could take damage, because the first ghoul did a shit ton of damage to X. And then after that, yeah, Apollo and all of them. Apollo, Jack, Abraham, and Evie all laid into the incoming ghouls, while Nova and X continued holding the line, pushing them back and allowing their team to assist from the rear. With a few ghouls remaining, the group then cleared the camp and were once again the winners. No, I don't want to say something like that. That's a little cheesy. Let's see. The group then cleared the camp after a few rounds of combat and successfully won another encounter. And that's pretty much where we left off. Yeah, we kind of stopped right after this because a couple of our players had to go to work early in the morning. And we typically play this kind of late. So, yeah, we ended it there. Apologies. So yeah, we ended it there, and then we, yeah, that was pretty much it. Everyone kind of took off, and I cleaned up everything, and that was pretty much it. So we are done with the recap. Session 6. Nice. It's all in there. I like to keep it organized. I like to keep track of everything. So that way, you know, because the one thing I really would like to do is, like, once the campaign's over, I would like to kind of go through these and kind of relive their journey, or maybe like at the end I could do something like where I'm kind of like going over like where the players have been and what they're going to encounter, you know, potentially in the future. Because this module thankfully ends very open-ended. So if they did ever want to continue this, you know, I can definitely continue to run it for them. So yeah, it'll be fun to see where they go and see like where they've been at the end. And so that's why I just decided, you know, I'm gonna keep track of it. We don't have like an official note taker. One of the players, they do take notes, but we don't have anyone who's like official. Apologies. So yeah, it should be kind of fun to see, you know, at the end of all what this all leads up to. All right. So now that we're done with this, we can go into the main quests. So what I'm gonna do is yeah, the Fallout. So yeah, at the end of every quest, there's always what's called the Fallout, which is essentially like how the quest wraps up. So that's what we're going to be prepping today. I'm going to kind of go through, I'm going to write some narrative things, and then I'm going to also kind of write what this is going to lead into. Just that way I have everything ready for whenever this next session happens, because there's going to be this is going to be heavy narrative, where I don't think I'm going to set up a combat for this, unless they do a Wild Wasteland where I have to do something combat, then I might, but I'll probably just hand draw something for that, because I don't really feel up to prepping like actual maps right now. Um, so we'll just do it like this for now. I'm pretty much gonna just solely focus on narrative for this one. All right. Let's see. So this is where I'm gonna go ahead and refer to the module. Let's see. So players complete the train job. When they return to Diamond City with the supplies they recover from the train and potentially the bunker, which they did do the bunker. Mayor McDonough is very grateful for their aid and believes the PCs may be able to help secure long-term stability of the settlement. The state of Diamond City. You know, I could potentially pull this up for you guys. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can get this set up for you guys. That way you can see what I'm reading. Let's see, Winter of Adam. Okay, give me 1 moment, okay? I'm gonna do window capture. See, yeah, and then we're going to, yeah, this is the guidebook, but let me go ahead and crop this for you guys. Sorry, I gotta do this off screen a little bit so that way I can see it a bit better. We're gonna crop, yes. Let's do on the left, we'll do like, I don't know, like 75. Oh, nope, that is way too much. What about like 200? 200 should be fine. There we go. That's about right. Top. Zoom in essentially. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Right, zoom that in, and there we go. All right, there we go. Well, you guys can kind of see what I'm doing, what I'm reading through. Put it right there for now. So this, we're gonna go down to, where is it? Here we go. So the Fallout. So yeah, you guys can. Is that pretty clear for you guys? Let's see. Oh yeah, that should be fine. All right. Let me go ahead and lock that real quick. All right. Let's see. So after they complete the quest with the supplies they've recovered from the train, Mayor McDonough is very grateful for their aid and believes the player characters might be able to help secure the long-term stability of the settlement. The states of the Diamond City is how well people react. And how well people react depends on their actions. So they're going to have a base reputation of 2, which thankfully they didn't ruin this in their first encounter in Diamond City. So it is still at a 2. Let's see, if they become hostile at any point, they banish them from the settlement. Thankfully, they had a very good interaction, so they're still at 2. Security guards will not allow them entry until they find a way to raise something such as the raise. Yeah, okay, that's cool. After their adjustment of positive and negative influences, like they did recover pretty much all of the supplies. They did defeat the scavengers. They will come back with open arms, and they will increase by 1. So sweet, they're gonna go up to 3. They dealt with the raiders. They did kill Silt, and they are actually, no, they didn't. They kept them alive actually. So they are going to be getting an extra 150 caps on top of what they were promised. If they did kill the raiders, but inform them of the bunker's location, instead 50 caps instead of recruited. Yeah, no. So they already took care of him, and they actually brought him back. So I'm gonna have to write like a whole narrative thing of like them taking Silt and interrogating him and shit. Because right now he's unconscious. Because they ripped his arms off, but Nova was able to stabilize him, so he's an amputee. strapped onto X's back. Um, so yeah, we're gonna have to write that up. If they acted selfishly and the PCs keep the Diamond City supplies, they gain 10 of each of the items, which is those. They reduce their settlement reputation by 1, and the food supply becomes limited. Thankfully, they brought everything, so they should actually be very welcome. If they kept the supplies and they also did not help Evie outside the city gates when she was attacked, they lose 1 more, and Mare considers them no better than Raiders. Thankfully, they did help Evie. As you guys saw, we do have Evie in the map. Over, let me see. Sorry, I wasn't looking at this. Evie is right here. She's safe and sound. She wasn't damaged in this combat. She actually hasn't been damaged at all. So she's doing great. Let's see. So yeah, so actually they should be at a 4 technically. No, I'll leave them at 3. 3 should be fine. They can doing bigger stuff. They might get more. Let's see. So next step, meeting locals and purchasing supplies. They probably are going to need to get some more supplies since they're going to have a lot more caps. They should be able to buy some more stuff. Exploring the Commonwealth, building alliances. This is actually something that they're most likely going to be focusing on because one of the player characters I homebrewed a bit of a narrative where his faction that he's with, which is a custom faction, is essentially going to be like reaching out and trying to settle within that bunker and kind of turning it into like a kind of like a foothold for their faction in the Commonwealth since they haven't expanded there yet. So this is where they're most likely going to focus their next attention on. Let's see, helping Yusuf with the digging in. They actually did already. Oh no, did they do digging in? Let me look. Which one is digging in? Cleansing fire, no. Strange fruit. Oh, whatever. They'll figure this out later. Oh wait, no, whoops. I went way past. Here we go. So yeah, we're not gonna focus on that one because they already actually did settle the issue of the children of Adam in the Commonwealth or in Diamond City. So this one's already taken care of. Joining Linda to the side quest, we got the beat. This might be what they do after this part, because they do want to go to Beatsville because we had a Wild Wasteland where a character was introduced called Petunia, Princess Petunia. It was essentially a Wild Wasteland where a trio of super mutants dressed in Victorian like gowns and like clothing was just passing by them. And so they ended up interacting with them, and Princess Petunia became a thing. I had to kind of come up with a name and come up with everything. I pulled it all out of my ass, but they had fun with it. And so Princess Petunia is going to Beatsville in search of art, as she's searching for entertainment of the soul. And so she's going to Beatsville because Beatsville is a settlement of like artists, musicians, creative people essentially. So she feels like that's like the place to go to find what she's looking for. So yeah, that is definitely going to be probably a thing because they really want to go to Beatsville. So yeah, that'll probably be the next thing after this whole section. Let's see. Before proceeding, review the Diamond City section on page 100 for more information. Yeah, I already know that becomes an Osama. Make quest line, cleansing fire. Let's see. So yeah, this is going to be their next big quest, which I don't think that they're going to do just yet. I think they're going to focus on this first, and then they'll get to this section. So we'll see how this goes. It should be interesting, to say the least. So yeah. Let me go ahead and minimize that. So we're going to get back to this. All right. So the Fallout. This is what they're going to be doing. So as the PCs, I'll just say party. Fuck it. Party returns to Diamond City. Diamond City. The group is then welcomed by the guards as they are expecting their return. Let's see. They are immediately escorted back to Mayor McDonough, and the guards take Silt from X as they will be interrogating him. Upon him waking up. So yeah, I essentially want that to happen. So like as soon as they get to Diamond City, the guards are like, oh shit, we've been expecting you. Mayor McDonough wants to see you right away. Top priority. And so as soon as they get in, I essentially want them to go straight to Mayor McDonough. Yeah, I think that's pretty much how we're gonna do it. And then they'll take Silts. So he'll probably say something like, maybe they'll like recognize. So actually, let me do this. Recognize Silt from X's back. The guards will then inform the party that there is a open bounty on his head, and they will be needing to take him take him as they will be interrogating him upon him waking up. Actually, that does work. So yeah, essentially they'll be like, hold up. Oh shit, fuck. There we go. I didn't even realize I fucking switched faces. I still gotta get used to that. But yeah, essentially, so they'll be saying like, hold up. Is that who I think it is? And then they'll probably, I don't know why I gave him like a Cockney accent. I don't know. It probably won't be the accent I'll use during the session. But yeah, so they'll be like, is that who I think it is? And another guard will probably be like, oh, that's Silt. There's an open bounty on his head. Something like that. I try to do voices. I'm not that great. But it's something like that. That way it's like, it kind of like draws attention to it. And it's like they weren't expecting him to be back. And they'll probably comment on the fact that his arms are missing. Like, oh, Weiss have been rough on him, huh? Something like that. Yeah, kind of just like poking fun of the fact that he no longer has his arms. And that'll give like the group a little bit of chance to kind of like revel in their capability. Because I want them to feel like heroes. I want them to feel powerful. You know, because when you're playing Fallout, you feel like, you know, you're above everyone else. And I want them to have that feeling of like they are badasses. So I kind of want to make a big deal about things whenever they like go over the top on things. So I think I'll probably do something like that. That way it just is a little bit more fun for them. And it's not like just a simple like, oh, there's Silk. We're going to take them. You know, I want to have a little bit more flavor, have a little bit more fun with it. So hopefully they find that fun. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen with Silt. Silt's gonna be taken, and then I'll probably have Mayor McDonough comment on it, so that way like they know that they're gonna get the reward. So that way, you know, they know about the open bounty, and then Mayor McDonough can kind of lead into the extra caps. Okay, so let's see. As Silt is then taken for questioning, the group is then led once again towards the mayor. Upon entering his office, the group is greeted. Let's see. With open arms from the mayor. as he excitedly congratulates them on their accomplishment. And then he could say something like, because they took care of this fast. Like over this whole thing, this only took like 3-4 days roughly, because it took a day, a second day, a third day, and now they'll be arriving on the 4th day. So we could say something like, let's see, how would the mayor say it? Mayor, because I'm writing down like what I'm going to say, so that's why I put it in quotes, because this is what I want to say it as. The mayor shoots up from his chair as he shouts to well, if it isn't our saviors, is that nice? That's just savers. That's just savers. Fuck, how do you spell savior? I'm trying to think. Is it just I don't think it is. Is it really? Oh, I could have swore there was like a U or something. Oh well. Give me 1 second. I got a text. Let's see. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to text real quick. Let's see. Well, if it isn't our saviors, on behalf of all of Diamond, no, of the Green Jewel, we thank all of you for your efforts in recovering our supplies for the winter. Ooh, I should probably do it where like the guards also take all the cargo from them. That way he can like immediately like know or like immediately kind of lead into them getting let's see. So the guards inform the party that there's an open bounty on his head. I'll probably say before the whole silt thing. So we're gonna get rid of the immediately escorted, and they're gonna say they are asked to drop off their supplies with one of the guards. No, we'll just say with at a we'll say like a loading dock, as they will pass it along. Inform mayor ahead of time of their arrival. One of the guards will recognize Silt from X's back. And the guards will then inform the party of the open bounty on his head. And they will be needing to take him for interrogating upon him waking up. Yeah, that works. Let's see. So as Silt is taken for questioning, the group is led once again towards the mayor. Actually, we don't need to say again. The led towards the mayor. Upon entering his office, the group is greeted with open arms from the mayor as he excitedly congratulates them on their accomplishment. The mayor shoots up from his office or from his chair as he shouts, "Well, well, if it isn't our saviors!" On behalf of the Green Jewel, we thank all of you for your efforts in recovering our supplies for the winter. Thanks to you, Rag Tag. Group of upstanding citizens. We will be taking it easy through taking it a little bit easier through this harsh winter as let's see, our citizens will have a full belly and a warm I don't know, we'll say like and be set at ease knowing of the good you five have done in our time of need. I'm trying to like make it sound a little bit more like a politician would say it. Just because like obviously he's a mayor, so he has to like keep up a reputation. So I feel like having him kind of like speak a little formally, but like a little candidly, just a blend of those two will be a kind of a good mix. That way it's, you know, it feels a little bit more like how the mayor would say it. Let's see. So, well, if it isn't our saviors, on behalf of the Green Jewel, we thank all of you for your efforts in recovering our supplies for the winter. Thanks to your, you ragtag group of upstanding citizens. Yeah, that does work. We'll be taking it a little bit easier through this harsh winter, as our citizens will have a full belly and be at ease, knowing of the good you five have done in our time of need. As promised, your payment will be provided with a bit of a bonus stacked on top of it, seeing as you recovered almost all of what had been missing. Alongside that, you brought the I'm trying to think of how he would talk to Silt. Like, I want to say like nay doer or like no good, but like I don't think that's how he would say it. Let me think. How would he say it? Alongside that, you brought the culprit. We'll just say culprit. Behind this whole fiasco, Silt. And as a thank you, I will be adding an additional, because there's 5 of them, I want to kind of split it up a little bit bigger. So maybe I'll do like 2. What would be a good round number to give to 5 people? Like 300 caps to be split amongst you all as a personal thank you for taking care of that thorn in my side. So I want to kind of give a little bit of a pause there, so that way they can like kind of respond. Because after all of this, then I want to lead into Apollo's backstory a little bit. That way, because I had it where whenever they were in the bunker, the one that they originally were in, there was a radio there that they ended up getting working, and Apollo reached out to his faction and they informed him that he was essentially going to be met with a companion of his in Diamond City, and they were going to go over potential treaty talks with the mayor, so that way the mayor could kind of help provide supplies and resources, because I want them to establish the bunker as their home base. Seeing as how they can't settle within Diamond City, which Diamond City is what they recommend in the module for the players to go to. But because we have ghouls and super mutants, obviously they can't settle in Diamond City. Because of some really good charisma speech checks, thanks to Abraham, they were able to kind of be amicable with the mayor, even though, you know, the mayor has his whole racist against ghouls and anything that's not human thing. But they were able to kind of convince him to allow them to work for them. So yeah, we're just kind of setting this up so that way, you know, they have a place that they can go home to and kind of recoup, resupply, and, you know, get ready to go back out into the wastes. Essentially like their own sanctuary in Fallout 4. So yeah, that's kind of what we're trying to set up here. So I want to give them a little bit of time to kind of talk amongst each other. I'll probably like ad-lib quite a bit of this back and forth, seeing as how, you know, I don't know what they're gonna ask, and my party tends to get to some shenanigans, we'll say. So let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my notes on Apollo's backstory. Let's see. So Valkyrie's the officer. Psalm is the sergeant. He's the marksman. Heavily religious. Prays for the lost soul. Family of the legislator. Yeah, I think Psalm is going to be the one who's going to go. Psalm is so oh my god, I'm going to have to explain some of his backstory. So essentially Apollo in his faction, he has his own essentially like troop. You know, he's a member of a squad. I don't know why I didn't say squad. He has a squad that he's a part of, and Psalm is the sergeant of that squad. So he's going to be yeah, he's going to be the main contact that's going to be there, and that's where I want to like start introducing Apollo's backstory, because his is going to be the reason why they're going to have that foothold in the bunker. So I feel like his will be a good first backstory to lean into, because after that I want to start leaning into Abraham, which Abraham, he's a child of Adam, and he came from Megaton. So I feel like his whole thing is that he wants to find a place that he can call home. So I feel like if we set this up, it'll be a really good place for him to call home and feel like he's found a family that he's never had since Megaton. So yeah, I feel like this will be a really good like way to kind of weave them two together and potentially like get Abraham and Apollo to kind of like mingle a little bit more, and hopefully try to bring in everyone. And then we'll get into the other players' backstories in the future sessions. But for now, these are the two that I really want to focus on right now. Because the whole family thing also tethers Nova a little bit. She's kind of going through the same thing where she wants to find a place she can call home. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm kind of weaving this together, is that I'm trying to like mingle everyone in, kind of wrangle them in, and hopefully it turns out good. Hopefully they like it. So yeah, let's go ahead and start typing this part up. So after giving the players some time to deliberate and most likely make requests to the mayor. A guard will approach the mayor and whisper in his ear that someone has arrived for a meeting. The mayor will turn from a jovial expression to a more calm and serious look, as he will focus his attention upon Apollo. Well, now it looks like our guest has made it on time. You know, I should probably do this. I don't know why I put all this in quotes. I know that's what I'm going to say, but I'll do it like this. Yeah. There we go. Oh, whoops. Accidentally hit delete. Let's see. Yeah, so it looks like our guest made it on time. The mayor will turn to the guard at the door and tell him, please don't have our guest waiting. Let him in. The guard will turn to the door and open it, revealing Psalm. Let's see. So I'm gonna go ahead and write GM will say Apollo, as your attention is brought to the door, you notice the man who walks in happens to be a familiar face. Psalm, your sergeant. Is that how you spell sergeant? Is it S-E-R? Sergeant, I think. Yeah, there we go. I always forget where the A goes in sergeant. It's sergeant. I always gotta remember it like that. Psalm, your sergeant. Let's see. Enters the room with a calming presence as he stands at attention before the mayor. Yeah, because I want him to be like a very military based character. Someone who's like by the book. He's gonna, you know, he's essentially gonna be like forward march, and he's gonna walk into the door, into the room, and then he's gonna stand at attention in front of the mayor and kind of salute him, where he'll give his name. Let's see. Psalm will. Let's see. Salute the mayor and announce himself as Psalm. I don't know. I'm at it again. Sergeant Psalm of the Remnant Guard. Here for a treaty discussion. Sir. Mayor. Oh, I put May. Mayor will greet him and say, at ease, soldier. No need for all that. All the military stuff. Here. Psalm will then enter. Fuck, how do you spell it? Parade rest? I think. I'm pretty sure it's just parade rest. Let's see. Sorry, I'm getting a text. Hold on. Alright. So yeah, he's gonna stand a parade rest. And allow the mayor to speak first. Let's see. So this is going to be the mayor talking. Now, I hear your group wants to expand into Great Commonwealth. Is that right? Psalm. Sir. We are. No, he would probably say something like, that's correct. We feel it is the right time to set ourselves up in the area, as there are a few POIs that need our focus. Let's see. To do so, we do not want to step on any toes, so to speak. And decided it would be best to reach out to Diamond City in hopes to establish a friendly I'll just say a friend. In the to establish a friend. Obviously, these days, friends don't come free. So in return, like Diamond Cities help. Oh no, we would like, if we're saying in return, so if we in return for your support, we would provide Diamond City with our protection and firepower. Yeah, because his guard is it's not big, but it's heavily militaristic. So they do things like set up assaultrons, security bots, turrets, things like that. They're heavily like defensive. So I'm essentially trying to like leverage that into being how they're able to get Diamond City to assist, because I want Diamond City to kind of be like their main settlement that they interact with, because it's kind of like the biggest one in the Commonwealth. Obviously there's like Good Neighbor and things like that, and there's a few other like custom ones for this module, but I feel like Diamond City will be a good one that, you know, every Fallout 4 player knows, and that they know who's there, they know what's there, they know what they can get. And if they want to kind of establish other settlements as well to kind of have, you know, friendly relationships with, you know, that they should already know that they have the back of Diamond City to kind of vouch for them. You know, the green jewel. So that's kind of like the angle that I'm kind of leaning towards here, and hopefully it goes well. Hopefully they like it. I feel like I feel like it's a good idea, at least in my opinion. If you guys have any suggestions or anything that you guys would like to, feel free to leave them in the comments. What would you put as a question for all you guys out there? How would you set this up? So far, this is kind of my idea, but who knows? Maybe you guys will have a better one, and I might use it in the future. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just kind of reading over everything, seeing how everything goes. So, attention is brought. You notice the man walks, happens to be a face. Psalm. I'm obviously gonna give them time to kind of interact. Psalm will salute the mayor and announce himself. Psalm of the Remnant Guard. Here for a treaty discussion, sir. The mayor will greet him. At ease, soldier. No need for that military stuff here. Psalm will then enter parade rest and allow the mayor to speak first. Now I hear your group wants to expand to the Great Commonwealth. Is that right? That's correct. We feel that it's the right time to set ourselves up in the area, as there are a few POIs that need our focus. To do so, we do not want to step on any toes, so to speak, and decided it would be best to reach out to Diamond City in hopes to establish a friend. Obviously, these days friends don't come free, so in return for your support, we would provide Diamond City with our protection and firepower. The mayor will ponder for a moment before responding. And what exactly would that entail? Psalm will then say, we will establish a steady supply of ammunition for the Minutemen currently occupying Diamond City, as well as a few troops of our own for additional protection along the outer walls of the city. Additionally, we will allow Apollo, no, sorry, our soldier, Apollo, to be our direct line of communication between your city and our command. In case of Follow will be our direct line of communication between your city and our command. Case as a failsafe. He is a fine soldier and will do his best to keep. I'm trying to figure out how I should word this. I don't know. This one's a little bit difficult. I'm gonna skip this song. Not in the mood for it. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of losing. I'm losing pace on this one. Let me go ahead and reread over it. We will establish a steady supply of ammunition for the Minutemen currently occupying Diamond City, as well as a few troops of our own. As well as provide a few troops of our own for additional protection along the outer walls of the city. Additionally, we will allow our soldier Apollo to be our direct on. He will do his best as an envoy of the guard. Psalm will then look to Apollo for his input. So I want to give Apollo a chance to kind of chime in, since this has been kind of a little bit of back and forth between Psalm and the mayor. So yeah, I think definitely I want to kind of lean in on Apollo, kind of establishing himself as, you know, essentially establishing the party as his group. Like he plans to stay with them, and you know, maybe we could say something like where he enjoys, you know, their company and he's kind of grown fond of them. Just to kind of like show that, you know, they're developing a bond. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Something like that. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think this might be kind of where I kind of just keep everything up in the air, because this is like mainly the section that I wanted to have prepped. Yeah, I think this might be good, because from here on, from that point forward, once like Apollo kind of starts to take over the conversation between him and the mayor, I don't know what he's gonna say. And obviously the group will probably chime in too. So yeah, I think this is pretty good. I like what I've got prepped so far. Like I said, this is definitely gonna be a heavy narrative session. So hopefully they like it. Because this is really gonna set like the foundation for what they're gonna do in the Commonwealth. I want them to set up the bunker. I want them to establish the Remnant Guard, because if the Remnant Guard gets set up, the group can then be taken under the wing of the Remnant Guard, which is Apollo's custom faction. And once he kind of gets established under that umbrella, like, that can be what pushes them to do some of the bigger quests, or, you know, anything like that. Yeah, the only thing is probably after this, I'm probably gonna do bullet points from this point forward. So let me put points to go over during session. Yeah, no, we'll just leave it like that. It doesn't need to be like all flashy. So yeah, so points to go over. Psalm greets the group after treaty talk and congratulates Apollo on finding a good group of friends to have his back in these rough times. What else? Definitely want to have, like, I want Psalm to kind of like acknowledge that, you know, they're a good group, like they have really good synergy. So I feel like I want him to kind of like acknowledge that, so that way it kind of like helps push the narrative that they should stay together. Psalm tells Apollo not to let these party members go, as allies like them are one in a million. Let's see what else. What else do I kind of want them to kind of get to? Abraham. I want to kind of get to Abraham. Psalm will greet each of the party members. Oh, he'll do introduce himself to each of the party members, and one by one speak kindly about them. Essentially I want to use this as an excuse for me to like essentially gloat about my players, because they all do so good at what they do, because they have such good synergy that like I kind of want to compliment them. I want to fluff their egos a little bit. That's just me. I'm just maybe I'm just kind of like acting like a little bit of a dad to them, but it's okay. They deserve it. They've done so good. And I want to give myself an opportunity to like point out that they're doing great. So I can use this as a narrative reason. Let's see. Someone will introduce himself to each party members and speak kindly about them. Psalm, whoops, will speak to Apollo directly after meeting and inform him that Valkyrie, is that how you spell Valkyrie? How do you spell Valkyrie? It's an I, that's why. Ah, what did I do? There we go. Is no, he's kind of already got that, so we'll say Has high expectations for him and and expects him to pull this off, as this is a big responsibility for him. Responsibility for him, and he better not screw up. There we go. Is it 1L? Fuck, I am spelling so shit. How do you spell responsibility? Could have swore. Response. Oh, is it I? Responsibility. Ah, it's an I. Thought it was an A. All right. Oh, let's see. Responsibility. Better not screw it up. Let's see. So after that, Psalm will leave to follow a radio to contact I was gonna say a sat phone, but there's no satellites. Wait, are satellites still active in Fallout? Let me see. Are there satellites in Fallout 4? Looking at the Fallout wiki. Oh no, yeah. It's left dormant, but it's there. Okay, so yeah, we can use satellites. A sat phone for him to contact them at any time throughout the wastes. Let's see. That way he has like that point of contact where if he ever needs to, he can contact them. Seeing as how now he's like an envoy. So yeah, I feel like that's a good little thing to end Psalm's character point off on. Let's see. So I want to focus on Abraham after that. So I think I might use Evie. Evie, after discussion with Mayor, Evie will attempt to speak to Abraham privately and thank him for showing kindness to her during their adventure. She hopes he will spread that kindness through the Commonwealth, as it could really use it right now. I don't know, these days. Let's see. She will comment that even though their time together was brief. Damn it, brief. She is grateful for the party and in helping get revenge for her lost friends and hopes will be waiting. No. It's not like they're leaving Diamond City yet. They're most likely going to say. Excited to see what they are going to do in the future. As she let me see. Future is looking a little brighter since she met them. All right, so yeah, I essentially kind of want to I want to help bolster their synergy. I want to help bolster them feeling like a group and feeling like they are meant to be together for something bigger. Yeah, because I feel like Evie, there's been a few very good moments of heart to heartness with Abraham and Evie where she's been kind of opening up a little, because she's been very emotional because she lost all of her friends in the train wreck of whenever the derail train happened that caused this whole quest. And so I feel like, she should be the one who's you guys really should stick together, and she's excited for what they're gonna do in the future, So I feel like that's gonna be a really, really good thing to kind of leverage for the players. But yeah, I think that's all I really want to prep, honestly. Yeah, after that, I think most likely they're probably gonna try to rest. They're most likely I'm gonna level them up. At this one. So I'm really excited to see what they pick. But yeah, I feel like we got a good amount prepped here. I think this is honestly the most in-depth narrative I've prepped. Because typically combat kind of overtakes my players, but I feel like this is going to be a really, really good one for everyone. Yeah, I'm really hopeful for this. I think that everyone's really going to like this because they've been kind of dragging a little bit in regards to story. So I feel like they kind of need a full session of straight story. So I feel like this is going to be a really good launching point for where I want to go with everyone's backstories and everyone's player arcs. Because like I said, Abraham and Paulo are probably going to be my first two that I'm going to touch. And then I think after that, I want to kind of weave Nova and X, which is the super mutant. I want to leverage them two. And then I definitely throughout all of this, I want to kind of touch on Jack, because he's kind of the wanderer of the group. So I feel like he'll be one that's kind of touched upon with everyone, and I'll do subtle things every session with him. Yeah, because his whole thing is that he wants to find where he belongs, and that's the one common thread with everyone here except for Apollo and X. They want to find where they belong, and so I feel like that's going to be a really good thing to press pretty hard on this one, because it's going to establish everyone's motivation to stay together. So I hope that this really works out for them. I hope they really like this. I think this is a good prep session. I think that this is really going to be a good stepping point for me to kind of weave it as they interact, and I hope that this one's going to be a really heartwarming one for them, because I really think that they deserve it. I think that they deserve being praised. I think that they deserve to kind of start getting their backstory set up and feel like they're actually in and belong in the world. Because after 6 sessions, they've got their feet wet. They're in the pool now. Now it's time for them to really get deep and to start establishing themselves in the world. Man, I'm just so excited. I feel like this is gonna be such a good session. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna be cutting it off here. I feel like this is a really good point. Um, I'll let you guys know how this goes. Most likely Monday or Tuesday, depending on whenever I stream after Saturday. Um, I'll let you guys know how this goes. Thank you for anyone who was joining in. I know that this was a bit of a change of pace. I've only done one other of these. Um, I know it's not super popular, but I really enjoy DMing. So I'll probably continue doing these every now and then. Hope you guys don't mind it. I know it's not the most entertaining stuff, but yeah, this has been really fun. I'm super excited to see how my players react with all this. So yeah, for those of you who are in here, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Let me know what you guys think of like any things you guys would add or like tweak, or any potential like plot threads that I could kind of do in the future. Feel free to, if you're watching on the VOD, leave them in the comments below. If you guys are watching in the stream anytime in the future, feel free to shoot them my way. I love talking about D&D and tabletop RPGs. So yeah, feel free to, you know, shoot them my way at any time. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna leave it here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, I will see you guys most likely tomorrow for some Destiny. We're potentially going to be doing some more grinding. Maybe if we can get a fire team together, we might do Crota's End again. We've really been trying to grind for Crota's End. But yeah, that's where we're going to leave it off here. So thank you guys for sticking around. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one. Love you guys. And yeah, see you next time.